Hi guys, and welcome to another WordPress video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in our last video we were answering a question. Somebody was asking, how do they migrate a website from Localhost, where you build it on your local machine, to an online server, so it's online on the web. And I showed you a way last time, very easy way, with a plugin called WP Vivid, which is absolutely free. Now that plugin works 99% of the time for me on small, medium and large sizes. You can occasionally run into trouble with some servers, hosting servers. It'll time out for the time it takes to actually upload everything. And that's when you have to sort of go the manual way. And also for extremely big sites, it's quite often a good idea to go the manual way. So I'll show you how to do that today. So presuming you've got your site already on localhost, here's one I've got here, and it's the same one that we worked with yesterday. It's just a little online store with 6 or 8 pages. Okay, the first thing we want to do is navigate to the folder where our localhost files are for this site. I'm using XAMPP, so mine's in XAMPP htdocs divi store. And here they are, they're all our regular WordPress files here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into a zip file. So I'm going to select them all and I'm going to add them to an archive. I'm going to select zip. And it'll add them to a zip file. There we are, right there. Now the other way of doing this, you can select the files and use a FTP client such as FileZilla, which is absolutely free, but I'm going to do it the direct way by uploading a zip file. Once we've got our zip file, we can go to our Cpanel in our hosting. So go to your Cpanel, hit your file manager, and if it's the only site that you've got there, you can browse to your home directory, which will be public HTML. And I'm actually putting mine in a subdirectory because I've already got a lot of sites on here, and mine's going to be in this directory right here. So what I'm going to do is upload the file. So I'm going to hit the upload file button. I'm going to drag the zip file that we just created. Now your hosting might be slightly different. I use WebHost Python. It's extremely quick and good value. If anybody wants to check that out, there's a link below the video. Okay, next thing we want to do, our WordPress site is made up of those files that you just saw, which house all the plugins and images and things like that. It's also made up of a database, and the database itself has to be moved over to our live serving environment too, or copied. And to find that, if you don't know where your database is, have a look in the WP config file, and you can open it with a text editor. I use brackets to open mine. Brackets is absolutely free, and that's just at brackets.io if you need to download one. So I'm going to open mine with brackets. And here it is over here, and you'll notice in the WordPress config file, here's our database. Here's the name of our database and the user and the password. So we really just need the name for this because we've got to create a new database for our online version. So we know the database is called divi store. If you're using brackets, occasionally when you open a PHP file, it'll throw up an error. Just cancel out of that. Okay, so we know what it's called. Well, let's go and find it. So you need to go. Like I say, I'm using XAMPP. I don't know what you may be using, Winamp or Mac version of it. You need to go into your PHP My Admin. All of them are going to have it. Mine's right here. And once you're in there, it's going to list all the databases, and I've got plenty of them here. And the one we want was divi store, this one right here. So what I'm going to do, now it's loaded up here, I'm going to go over, I'm going to export the database. Quick, display only minimal options, that's fine. And the format SQL is what I want right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go. As you can see, it's downloading it for us now. Okay, well let's go back to our Cpanel, and our files should be up there now. Yep, there they are. If I refresh this now, reload the page, should have our zip file. There it is. I'm going to simply select the zip file and hit extract. and it's extracted them all for us, and all I do is reload, and there they are, exact clone of what we had in our folder on our localhost there. Now our zip file, this one, we can select that, we don't need it anymore, so we can go up and delete it and skip if you want to. I don't really want to keep it in my trash, it just takes up space, and it's gone. So we've got all the files we need there. Now we need to set up our database, and we've got our database here. We're going to have to create a new one, so go back to your cPanel, and if yours doesn't look like this, just get in touch with your hosting provider. They've all got these pretty much the same. They may look slightly different. Most of them have a cPanel, but some of them are set up slightly different. I know iPage, I work with for many years, is slightly different looking, but they've all got the same functions. So just, if you're not sure, just contact your hosting provider. I'm sure they'll let you know exactly what to do here. So what I need to do is create a new database now. So if we look down a bit, here's the databases. I'm going to hit my SQL database wizard. I'm going to give it a name. I'll call it dstore. Doesn't matter what you call yours, make it unique though. You don't want two with the same name. I'm going to hit the next step. Create a user, and I'll give him a name as well. I'll give him the same name for convenience, and you need to have a fairly strong password. And a strong password usually includes an uppercase, a lowercase, and a special character like an @ or an exclamation or a question mark, something like that. And if you put one too weak, it usually won't let you do it. So it's going to make you put in a fairly good password there, and make sure you remember what it is. Okay, so we've got our user's name and we've got our password. So let's create the user. And I'm going to grant the user all privilege. And I'm going to hit the next step. Great. So we've added our new user and we've added an empty database. And in that empty database, we've got to import the one that we exported from our localhost. So let's go back. This time we'll go into phpMyAdmin, same place as we went to on our localhost. And it's going to list all the databases we got. Here's the one that I want, DivvyStore. That's the one we just created. So I'm going to click on it. And here we are. And I want to import, so I'm going to hit the import button. I'm going to choose the file. And once you browse the location, there's our little SQL file there. I'm going to go ahead and open it. I'm going to go down the bottom. I don't need to change everything else. SQL is the format. Let's hit go. And the first thing we've got to do, we've got to change a couple of things. So let's go to our options file here. You'll see it over here. Here's the dstore file that we set up. And we've got to change the site URL and the home URL to our new location up here, which is in my system 22. So if we go into the edit, got to change the URL here, HTTPS, I know that, and it's my site. It'll be your domain name. Now I'm going to a subdirectory on mine, so I'm going to put the subdirectory in there because I don't want to overwrite my own site, and the subdirectory was called DivvyStore. So I'm going to copy that. We'll save this. Just hit the go down the bottom here. And we'll do the same for the actual home location right here. Hit the edit button. And I'll paste that URL we copied in there. Hit the go again. Okay, we're almost there, so we need to go back to our site files now and go into our config and tell it the correct database, password and user, and which will be the ones for our new database that we set up. So I'm going to hit edit. It'll give you a warning, but we know what we're doing, hopefully, so we should be alright. I'm going to hit edit. Now our new database was called and we'll copy this, and I use the same for the username, so I'm going to copy that and put that in the username below and put in the new password for our new database. Don't need to change localhost or character set, nothing in collate. So let's save our changes. We should be able to navigate to that URL now and our site should be online. So open a new tab and browse to our new site. And there we go. There's our Divi store. Let's make sure the other pages are going to work. Yep, no problem at all. Occasionally when you migrate a site you'll get a 404 error when you go to other links up here. If that happens, go down to your settings and permalinks in your WordPress admin, in your dashboard settings permalinks, and then just change something there and change it back and make a save, and that will correct that issue if you have it. And of course you'll need the same credentials to log in on the online version as you use for your localhost version. And what I was saying before, if you get a problem with 404 errors on the links on the other page, just go down to settings, permalinks, and flip something here. Put that there and then put it back. Some people say you don't even need to do that, but I just do that. Go down the bottom, save it, and that usually just clears up that little error that may occur. So there you go guys, that's how to migrate your localhost site to an online server using the manual method. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, ring the bell and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.